to do bookings because bookings have to deal with passport numbers, bookings have to deal with credit cards, booking has to deal with all that stuff that we just don't have the infrastructure for. So what do? We redirect. Build your itinerary, get happy with it, and then we'll say, hey, go to trip.com. Hey, go to Expedia. Hey, go to Click, right? And make the booking, okay? And we'll get a commission for it. This is a model that's been in the travel industry for quite some time. It's called the affiliate model, right? So in travel, it's about 1% commission. In hotels, it's about 4% commission. And in tours and attractions, it's about 10% commissions, right? So if you go through our app to make the booking, we will receive the commissions. It's simple as that. So the average number of itineraries created per year is about 1.76. That's what the data we've got. The lifetime value per customer or per client is about $15.90, right? And that's basically calculated at $9 times 1.76, right? So one itinerary is basically a $9 value in terms of commissions, okay? Our cost of acquisition is $5, right? So to acquire a customer, I'm spending $5, okay? My lifetime value over cost is 3.2 to 1. Is there investors here? Any investors? That's a very good number for investors. They love that, okay? My cost per itinerary, so including basically my OPEX, right? My OPEX cost per itinerary is about $11.83, right? And so my LTV over CPI ratio is 1.33. That's also a pretty good number from an investor point of view. So these are my financial projections, right? Yes, I've only got 500 users and 500 itineraries, but what I want to get to is 50,000 itineraries in year one, post-funding, right? What the funding is going to allow me to do is marketing and also scale up my infrastructure, right? My infrastructure currently is single-threaded. I do not want to spend any money on scaling my infrastructure until I can prove I have clients for it, because AWS is charging me regardless whether it's someone using it or not, right? So that's basically, we've got the infrastructure and everything ready. We just need to deploy it with the funds that we've got, right? Our OPEX is quite low in year one. And the reason why year two really scales up is because the number of itineraries and my infrastructure costs are actually in line. So I'm 5xing my itineraries, but I'm also 5xing my AWS as well as my AI costs, right? In terms of the number of tokens I'm using and the actual infrastructure costs in itself. What you'll notice is the jump in OPEX as well in year three. That's when I'm hiring a real team. Basically, me and my co-founder said, we are going to run this with the two of us as well as an additional developer until we break even, right? So once we break even, which is year two, then we'll start hiring a team and really ramping this up, trying to get to 1.25 million itineraries generated by year three. As you can see, the margin per itinerary goes from negative 52 cents all the way to $1.50. And that main reason is because my cost of acquisition will reduce as my itineraries grow. My marketing costs will reduce as well because it will become a word of mouth and it'll be organic growth. So something about the founders. So yes, before I was a founder, I used to have hair. Now that I'm a founder, I don't have hair anymore. So me, Billy, and my co-founder, Andy, we actually met whilst working in Hong Kong. Wendy, you might know the company we work for, OSL. So the crypto platform, the first SFC licensed crypto platform in Hong Kong. Me, myself and Andy worked there. I was one of the first 60 employees at OSL. And Andy, I think, was 65 or something like that. So we worked together for a number of years. I've got a few years, 5-6 years in travel. I actually tried to start this project probably about 10 years ago. But as you can imagine, 10 years ago, without AI, trying to get content from everywhere and do machine learning, it's next to impossible, right? I revisited this a couple of years ago when I learned about ChatGPT, and we actually did a prototype just using prompting and stuff like that. in 2024, and we're like, yeah, this works, let's go. And so we started in January 2024, and we launched live in July 2025. We also have an advisory board, and this is just to keep us in check, right? So Usman is the CEO and founder of Zodia Markets, which is a joint venture between OSL and Standard Chartered Ventures. He's now based in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, depending on how he feels. He's advising me on the strategic side of a startup, right? How do I construct the entity? What should I be thinking about, in terms of investments? Should I bootstrap? Should you go get funding, right? Like that sort of debate that we keep constantly have. He's my advisor there. Peter, he's had 20 plus years experience in the travel industry space. He's based out of Netherlands, and he basically runs online travel agents partnerships for Travelport, which is one of the 3 GDSs in the world. So Amadeus and Travelport or Galileo is one of the major GDSs in the travel space. Katrina, she's the managing director in Westpac. She looks after risk and compliance. Wendy, I don't know whether you've seen her face before, but she was actually working at OSL in Hong Kong as well. So that's where I met her. But she's basically everything, regulatory, legal, and advising me. So one of the things that you'll notice on the app is that every time you log in, you have to click I've read terms and conditions. Like, I just have to click it every time you log in. Everyone hates it, but Katrina's the one that says, make them do it. Because when you change your T's and C's and they haven't clicked it and they've been able to use your app, you're in a lot of trouble if you break it. And I'm like, all right, how do I work this? And I was like, okay, so extend the JWT token, right? Extend the JWT token for days instead of 90 minutes. But yes, so she advises me on legal and compliance and stuff like that. So what am I asking for? 1.5 mil, right? So that will basically help me run for 2 years, get into break even on year 2, right? Valuation of $9 million pre-money. That's based on a 6x of year 3, I believe. And my investment goal is basically, to use that 590 in OPEX in year 1 and achieve 250,000 itineraries by year 2. Cool. Any questions?